Good morning, guys. Happy week 2. We made it through 1 week, 5 to go. I hope everyone had a great weekend and no one is kind of having that Monday morning mentality of, screw it, whatever happened this weekend, I'm getting back on track today. Remember, there is no track. So whatever you did this weekend, learn from it, see what you can do just a little bit better next weekend. All right, so let's talk about this week's focus. It is going to be on snacks and cravings. Without a doubt, this is the number one question I receive from all of my clients. And it's mainly in the form of, give me some ideas for some healthy snacks. What should I be eating? What should I be snacking on? And honestly, like, this question makes me kind of cringe because I want you all thinking about why you're snacking and not so much on just trying to fill your snacks with healthier options. So let's get into it. This is 100% purely my own personal opinion. There's not any science or research behind it that I know of. I'm sure there is some kind of study, but I truly believe that in the United States, our obesity epidemic, meaning that greater than 60% of Americans are obese, not just overweight, but obese. I truly believe that this is a direct link into our snacking habits. This study says that 91% of Americans have at least one snack a day. And that's okay. One snack's good. I don't want you all thinking I'm telling you never ever to snack. So one snack a day is pretty reasonable, but 64% of Americans consume 2 or more snacks a day. And this is kind of focused on Americans because if you look at other countries, they really don't have the same snacking habits as us. Everyone looks at France and Italy and wonders how these people can be eating such decadent foods, the pastas, the pastries all day long, and they don't have the obesity problem that we have. It is 100% because they don't have the same mindset towards food that we do, and they also don't snack. It's not part of their culture to snack. If any of you parents have ever read or heard of that book about French eating culture as it relates to children, Bringing Up Bebe, they talk a lot about how the French don't raise their kids to have snacks, but teach them rather to be okay with hunger, teach them how to fill their bellies at each meal, and not to kind of reach to those snacks that we do so often throughout the day. So one study I read showed that snacks will briefly satisfy your hunger and kind of promote those feelings of fullness. The calories are not then compensated for at the next meal. So an example of this would be, say you ate a 200-calorie snack in between breakfast and lunch. Those people who did that only compensated by eating 100 fewer calories at lunch, thus increasing your total caloric intake for the day by 100 calories. You do this twice a day, and that's an extra 200 calories to your total caloric intake for the day. And that could mean, if you do that every day, an extra 200 calories a day across 3 months is a 5-pound weight gain. Across a year, that's a 20-pound weight gain. So it could be the reason why the weight isn't coming off, or your weight is slowly creeping up across the year, even though you may be having lovely and balanced breakfast, lunch, dinners, even if your snacks are healthier, apples, that sort of thing. An extra calorie is an extra calorie the way your body views it. So if you're consuming those extra bites and nibbles throughout your day, they really will add up and hinder your progress. Why we snack. There are so many reasons. So this first reason is actually the only okay reason to snack, and that's just because we're leaving too much time in between meals. Like I said, those meals that you're eating should essentially keep you full for 4 to 5 hours, maybe 4 hours, and then you sit with hunger for 30 to 60 minutes before you eat your next meal. So if you have the day where, say, you get home, you eat your lunch at noon, you get home from work, and then you have some after work, after school activities, and you don't sit down to dinner until 7 o'clock, yes, you are going to be hungry. That's a 7-hour time span to cover. So maybe that's the day you have a planned afternoon snack to make sure that you're not then overeating at dinner because you're starving because you haven't eaten in 7 hours. That's the way your body's supposed to work. You need to consistently be putting fuel in it when it's hungry. So that, in my mind, is the only okay reason to snack. If you can't consume a meal in that 4 to 5 hour window, then yes, you need a snack. And that's when you're going to go back to those, healthier, more balanced choices to do the job of holding you over until you are able to eat that meal. We snack a lot because we're not okay with that feeling of hunger. So this ties back into what we talked about last week, how we are viewing hunger as an emergency. We kind of get panicked when we have that feeling of emptiness in our belly, instead of just saying, it's okay. I'm going to my I eat lunch in an hour, so I'm just going to sit with this feeling and be okay with it for an hour, rather than at 11 o'clock feeling that hunger and going, oh my gosh, I need to eat something right now, and then I'll eat my lunch an hour later. So that's definitely a big reason for snacking, and that's why I really wanted to talk about hunger cues first and foremost during this challenge, because now all of these little weekly focuses are going to tie together. We snack because it's a habit. This is huge. This was definitely probably my biggest reason for snacking. I packed my work bag every day when I worked at the hospital, and I had my breakfast, I had my 10 a.m. snack, I had my lunch, and I had my 3 p.m. snack. And that was it. It was set in stone. I was eating those snacks no matter what. And that was just because it was a habit. I never stopped to actually ask myself, why am I snacking? Or if I'm truly hungry. So that's why you all are doing such an awesome job with these meal plans. But one thing I'm seeing on all of them is that you have your snacks planned into your day. So I want to challenge you all this week: delete those snacks from your meal plan. I don't want you making that mind body connection that just because it's written on your meal plan that it's okay to eat. You can maybe keep a little column on the side of, like, just in case snack ideas, but I don't want you planning them into your day-to-day routine, because then you're going to be eating them because they're on your plan and not because you're truly hungry or they're serving a purpose. So it's not your weekly challenge, but that's what I really want to be talking about this week. Uh, Hugest one, we snack because of emotions. I think the first thing we think about with emotional eating is you just broke up with your boyfriend and you're crying into a tub of ice cream. Yes, that's an example of emotional eating, but most of us aren't thinking that we are eating because we're happy or mad or bored or stressed or we're tired. I'm a sleepy snacker. I get super snacky when I'm sleepy. Or we're procrastinating from a task. So if we have a lot to do, and this kind of ties into stress as well, maybe we're running to the kitchen and grabbing a snack just because we don't want to start the task at hand that we have to do. So emotional eating, huge. This has been taught to us from a young age. If you do something great, you celebrate with ice cream. Every single celebration, birthday, whatever, revolves around food. So we make that connection that when we were feeling these, feelings, whether it's happy or sad, food is the answer. So this week, that's what you're going to be doing. You're trying to make these connections of actually why we are snacking, and not necessarily doing anything about it, but starting to make these mental connections between it. All right. Oh, I missed a page. Here we go. Cravings. This is also a huge topic of conversation, and I hear it most often in the form of feeling out of control. I crave sugar so bad. I have no control around sugar because it's all I think about. So I really want to start to talk about cravings as well. Number one, if you are saying that to yourself, it's going to become a self-fulfilling prophecy that, you know, you're saying you have no control around sugar, so you have no control around sugar. So I want to try and kind of backpedal a little bit and rephrase how you're talking to yourself about your cravings. It's not that you have no control around sugar, but you're learning to have a better relationship with sugar and how not to overeat it. So that's what you're going to say to yourself, that you're learning how to eat sugar in control rather than saying, I have no control. Let's not give the power away to food. Power's in us. All right, so are you hungry, or is it actually a craving? We talked about this in the kickoff seminar. I talked about this in the seminar back in December. So I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but to reiterate, If you're hungry, your body will eat absolutely anything to get those calories for fuel. So if you have a bag of carrots and you're truly hungry, you are going to eat the bag of carrots. If you are craving, you are sitting in front of an open refrigerator, looking at everything, just like, no, that doesn't look good. No, that doesn't look good. No, that doesn't look good. Oh, bag of chips. Good. Cravings are normally for something specific. So if you find yourself wanting to eat something specific, that's when you're going to go and kind of do the assessment of why. So cravings can be caused by a lot of things. They're caused, us females, hormonal fluctuations. We all know that, during that 1 week, during the month, you might be craving chocolate or super salty, crunchy foods. So my answer to that is to plan for these. You know when that week is coming. So in your meal plan that week, plan a bite of chocolate, plan to have some chips alongside of your, salad for lunch. Put those things that you routinely crave into your normal meal plan, and that way you're going to be more in control and less likely to overeat them. 6 months ago, Liz made this PowerPoint, and I don't agree with her when she says find healthy alternatives to what you're craving. Because you know what? If I am craving ice cream, that halo top garbage is not going to cut it. So plan for the things that you really want. Find a way to still eat them within your hunger cues, and it's okay. Move forward with the next day. That, couple days out of the month really isn't going to make or break your progress if you're still eating within the limits of your hunger cues and that you're in control of the amount you're eating. I learned something really interesting this past fall. I went on this exercise fitness retreat with a bunch of professional CrossFit athletes. And two of the guys, they would eat their dessert every single dinner before their meal. And I asked them why they did this. And they said they really wanted dessert and they wanted to make sure they still had room for it. So they ate it first and then adjusted the amount of their meal they ate to incorporate still being able to have dessert. So I actually tried this weekend when we went to Eaton Park one day. I really wanted a fudgy brownie fantasy sundae because they have gluten-free brownies and it's amazing. And I love hot fudge and I love ice cream. So I ordered one first and I ate it before my meal. So I was sure that I knew I wanted it. I ate it and then I probably ate a quarter of my meal because I was full. So I still got my dessert. I still got my full meal and I still walked away not being overly stuffed. So thought it was cool. Maybe not something to do every day, but if you're really planning like a very delicious decadent dessert that you really want to enjoy, then you eat it first and really enjoy it. So the other thing where my brain goes, if I have a client come in and say like, I am craving this, my first thought in my head is that you are being too restrictive during the week. Most people like to have that assessment of, I was really good this week, but this weekend I was just craving pizza. So my answer to that is, how about you incorporate some pizza into your weekly meal plan so it's not this thing that you're still viewing as a reward for being good, for eating so well all week. I think we all know that it's not possible to white knuckle our way through a craving, that you're sitting here thinking, I want pizza, I want pizza, I want pizza. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm going to eat my chicken and rice that I had planned. You're going to eventually give in. And chances are, if it gets to that breaking point that you are giving into a craving you've been thinking about for so long, you're going to then overeat it because you've already reached that point of, screw it. I can't hang on anymore. I have no willpower. I'm just going to eat the whole pizza and I'll start again tomorrow. So if you are having these cravings for specific things, I want you to really think about it and learn from them. We're going to talk about this in restriction. I think it's next week. I have that scheduled. My favorite phrase is, what you resist persists. If something is on your mind, it's going to continue to be on your mind until you address it. So I would rather you take a look at these foods that you're craving and really incorporate them into your meal plan. Normalize these foods in your nutrition, because you're always going to want pizza. Pizza is delicious. I never want to live a life where I can't eat pizza on a regular basis. But it has to be in a mindful way, that it's in your plan. You're eating until you're full and you're eating when you're hungry, that sort of thing. So it's still new in this process. You know, we still have 5 weeks together. You are stuck with me for a while. So you might still be feeling all these things. You don't have to fix them all today. It's just the point to now draw some awareness to these things that might be happening that you don't even realize are happening. Oh, sorry, technology. Wait, oh, I went out of order, so I'm not going to redo all of this. So here we go. How to improve your snacking habits. This is what y'all are doing this week, okay? Ask yourself, why are you snacking? That 10-second internal assessment. You don't have to sit and have this huge inner monologue with yourself about why you are going to that cupboard at night. I just want you stopping for a second and asking yourself why. Take a look at what's around you. Take a look at how you're feeling. Are you tired? A lot of my clients that have a snacking problem, I often tell them just write down your snacks and write down how you were feeling at that time. Whether it's stressed or sad or happy, just kind of now start to connect the dots of why you're snacking and how you're feeling. So if you're snacking and you are actually truly hungry, that you're feeling that pit in your stomach, but it's only been 2 hours since your last meal, I want to go back and look at that last meal and how can you make it more filling to have a little bit more staying power. So maybe in the morning, if you're finding yourself that you eat breakfast at 8 a.m. and you're hungry at 10 a.m., what can we do to your breakfast to bulk it up a bit? Did you eat some carbs? Did you eat some protein? Maybe we need to add some veggies to those eggs. Something to have it a little, give it a little more staying power to get you through until lunch. Same thing between lunch and dinner. If you're really finding like at 3 p.m. you are feeling hungry after your lunch, then we need to go back. Something's wrong with your lunch because your lunch should be keeping you full until your dinner. So have that snack. You know, if you're truly hungry, still have that snack, but then think to yourself, what can I do a little bit better tomorrow to make sure I don't need this snack? Um, so if you are truly hungry and it's been more than 4 hours since your last meal, then eat your next meal. Your body needs the fuel. If for some reason this isn't possible, like I said, after school activities, after work activities, we all have them. Our lives are busy. If it's not possible, that's when you are going to have that planned balanced snack. So you're pairing a protein with a carb, you know, having an apple with some string cheese or a meat stick, or protein and fats. So, you know, veggies and hummus, like that sort of thing, that you're having a nice balanced meal to actually, or a balanced snack to get you through until your next meal. If you are any of the seven dwarfs, sleepy, happy, grumpy, dopey, sneezy, bashful, doc, find a way to deal with those feelings rather than turning to food. So if you realize that you are stressed out, and that is why you want that little 2-minute mental reprieve with some food, how about you stop and make a list of all the reasons you're stressed out? Maybe you're stressed out because you have a very long to-do list from work. Then write it down. Spend that 5 minutes doing something that's productive to actually help you with the reason that you want to turn to food rather than just masking that issue with food. If food is not the problem, aka true hunger, food is not the answer. It takes a little bit to really kind of get in tune with this whole snacking thing. So that's why we talk about self-care. If you are feeling stressed out, maybe that's the time that you take your 10 minutes of self-care. Do something about the reason that you're stressed. If you are feeling happy, run around the room and celebrate why you are feeling happy. Post it on the Facebook group. Don't turn to food as a celebration. If you're feeling sad, call a friend, call your mom, talk to someone about why you're feeling sad. Do something that's going to help those feelings rather than just masking it with food. Food does absolutely nothing for you other than giving you calories. So that's it. That's snacking for the week. Let's start talking about it. Even if you don't do a darn thing to change it this week, just build that awareness. If you realize that snacking is your problem, start writing down your snacks and why and what you're feeling at that time. And let's start to make some connections, okay? This is going to be an ongoing talk. Like I said, snacks are huge. All right, so we already talked about that. Let's talk about our mini challenge for the week. I want you all to be super obnoxious food posters this week. I want to see what you're eating. I think a lot of you are doing very well at posting maybe a picture or two a week of your food. I want to get you in the habit this week. I want to see once a day. what you're eating. So, week 2 mini challenge is to post a picture of your plate for 5 days in a row. This is going to be really hard, and I don't think a lot of you are going to do it, but it's a challenge. So, I'm going to try and do it with me too. I want to see what you're eating. I don't care if it's the same thing every single day. So, all right, guys, get out there. Let's make it a great week. Here's your pep talk. That's it. Sorry, I woke up too early and had too much coffee this morning. So, all right, guys, I'll be talking to you. Have a great week. Ooh, sorry, now I have to figure out how to stop.